Okay, this is for the intermediate level of application work or building on the conceptions of Shinah technique. We're also building on the beginning level of monkey cracks the coconut, the same tu-say technique that we use there. We're going to be using a salt technique, or one that we use as a takedown. And this is the application which combines the two. This is called tiger turns its body. One of the things you have to be careful of is we're going to start doing things that put pressure on the elbow. So when we do this, when we're practicing at home or with any of our partners or our friends or our buddies, we do not want to do this at full strength or full speed because we could actually hurt the person we're practicing this on. You'll see what I mean as we demonstrate. We start off the same way, in a very neutral position. The reasoning behind this is we want to be in the weakest stance possible. That makes us focus on the technique of the hand application, of the Shinah technique. Once we start adjusting ourselves into stronger stances, we start to rely on our physical strength to do the technique. Shinah is about joint manipulation and being able to capitalize on people's structural weaknesses. So in this one, it's very, very important. We're also going to be working on the tricep tendon. If you would turn backwards, please. The tricep tendon is located basically right in this area behind the tricep. It's a tendon that's very sensitive to pressure, and it causes a little tingling sensation in the body. So part of this technique is we're going to be taking this portion of our left hand when we're doing it in this position. You can do them on both sides of the body. But we're going to be not using the palm here. We're going to be using this to roll up on that tricep tendon and cause pressure on it. So it's very, very important. So you'll see what we mean as we build on this, but this gives you an idea of where I'm pressing. Okay, so we start off just like we did in the beginning technique of monkey cracks the coconut, except this is called tiger turns its tail, and I'll break it down. So he comes across, the attacker, this bully, and I'm the defender. So attacker, defender. And my job is not to escape on this one, it's to take my opponent to the ground. So he does the same grab. So this is the variation. We do the same thing as we did in the beginning form, in the beginning technique. We bring our elbow in, it rotates in, and we do that same rotation up. This compromises his arm and elbow and shoulder and wrist. Also starts to loosen his grip. Where the tiger comes in is I am now taking my hand and turning it over and grabbing my opponent or my attacker's wrist or forearm area. What this does is this is the tiger part. Now, turns its body and putting my opponent on the ground is where I'm actually going to take a step back with my right foot and I'm rotating at the same time his arm over. So I'm doing a clockwise rotation with my right hand. That opens up the tricep tendon. Then, as I'm pulling this towards me, coordinating it with my step back, I'm taking my left hand and rotating up onto that tricep tendon, turning and going down and kneeling on my left knee. This pin thumb. I can put pressure on this tendon and I can pull up, which cocks this elbow. So I have this rotation. I can also turn and pull his arm behind the back. So I have him pinned pretty good here. There's not a whole lot he's going to be able to do. So, once again, tiger turns its body. He reaches across and grabs. I immediately rotate my elbow in and up, turning over, do the tiger grab. As I'm stepping back, I'm kind of pulling his arm, rotating it open, and rolling this up, taking him to the ground. Then I can also turn this across. I pin him. I have him pinned pretty good. Good leverage. Okay? Again, we're going to turn. I'm going to face the opposite direction so you can see it from the other view. He comes across, grabs. From this point of view, you're going to see, here's my elbow. What I do is I'm rotating in. Okay? I'm still keeping kind of a fist distance between my body and my elbow. This is very important for the technique to work properly. Because if I don't do it right, his elbow won't come up. His shoulder won't be compromised, and his wrist won't be broken. I turn that, grab, I step in back and pulling, turning clockwise, which opens up the tricep tendon, rotating on top and going down into a position of pinning him to the ground. And again, I can always manipulate this as much as I need to. So, okay. So this is a lot of variations to this. This is the one that's important. You can also turn this into a throw or into an application if somebody were to punch. This is important. If he's doing a punch, I do the same thing. I cue, grab, step back, rotate, pin, and it goes to the ground. So the application is the same. So we just do this as an introduction for you to get the technique with someone grabbing the wrist. Okay?